Rotarians, Rotary Ants, Rotarians from sister clubs, my dear invitees, friends, ladies and gentlemen. 2 score years ago, our charter members brought forth on this Rotary district a new club dedicated to the proposition that life is more meaningful when service and fun are put together. Today we are all gathered to crown a new king to this club. A king who says yes to more projects, a king who says yes to more fun. But he is going to be guided by a she, not his wife Manisha. This is a case of Pati Patni or O. Let the proceedings begin and we'll find out who this she is. We will start by a prayer to the Almighty to bless us in all our endeavors and help Ashish to follow she. May I request Annette Netri to come and lead the prayer.
Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shrunvannoti Visida Sadhanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Ya Kundendu Tushara Dhavala Ya Shupravastavrita Ya Veena Varadanda Manditakara Ya Shweta Padmasana Ya Brahma Chuta Shankara Prabhutibhi Devai Sada Pujita Samam Patu Saraswati Bhagavati Nisheshajaryapaha Nisheshajaryapaha.
We will start the meeting with the collaring of our President, Rotarian Sita Raman. Our Sergeant at Arms, Rotarian Piyush Patwa, will have the privilege of collaring our President.
Meeting for the installation of the 41st President of Rotary Coimbatore Central call to order.
Thank you, Mr. President. Don't judge a book by its cover. A president who may look simple but has received accolades by leading us this year through some trying times, sometimes in person, sometimes by phone, other times by Zoom. President Rotarian Sita Raman will welcome the gathering.
And a very warm welcome to the chief guest of the evening, Sri Chetan Bhagat, officials from District 3201, led by District Director Rotarian Maruthi, Assistant Governor Rotarian Sudhakar, GGR Rotarian KK Chug, Rotarians from Sister Club, fellow Centralites, Ants, Annettes, and invited guests. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to the grand installation of the 41st President of Rotary Coimbatore Central. Rotary Coimbatore Central, as you know, was founded 41 years back, and it has had a wonderful journey over this period. For all the governors of Rotary District 3201, Rotary Coimbatore Central is a gem among the 145 clubs comprising of District 3201. True to the policies of Rotary, Rotary Coimbatore Central has set an example of what an ideal Rotary Club should have as its policies. Bonding among the members as a family is a proof of the fellowship which Rotary advocates. Service above self is the policy, and we have done fantastic community service projects which are landmark projects over the years during this 41 years period. Friends, I for one think I am very lucky for being a member of Rotary Coimbatore Central, and I consider myself very fortunate for having your approval to lead this club as the president for the Rotary year 2019-20. The theme for the Rotary year 2019-20 was Live to Give. I am sure you will agree with me. All the projects done by us during the said year lived up to the said theme. The reason for the success of all the community service projects during year has been your motivation and support. At the end of it, it is just not the fact that I am a president of Rotary Coimbatore Central, but it is a great satisfaction which I have derived over these 12 months for having done something for the needy people which have made their lives better. Friends in Rotary Central, you have always stepped forward to volunteer yourself and give as much as you can. And all these accomplishments during the previous year is because of your great work. Thanks a lot, and I thank each and every one of you, not only for supporting me this year, for also giving me this opportunity of leading you through the Rotary year 2019-20. In a few moments from now, I'll be exchanging the collar with my good friend Ashish Khemka, and I'll be handing over the baton to him. And you know something? It will be a great privilege and honor for me to be grouped along with the galaxy of past presidents, and that is one of the greatest moments of my life, and it is a thing which I've been looking for I'll be called as the past presidents along with the 40 galaxy past presidents of our club. Thank you, friends. It is you who have made it possible for me. Friends, I should thank each and every one of my committee members, my committee, and my board who have put up with me for the last 12 months, and all the members of the central family, but for whom I could not have achieved what has been done in the Rotary year 2019-20. Last but not the least, I stand before you today here because of my family and my wife, better half, Soumya, who has put up with me not only for the last 35 years, but also for the last 12 months, because each and every day during the last 12 months, I have repeated a Rotary story to her which she was forced to receive and hear during the entire 365 days of the previous year. Friends, it is not only the last 12 months, but I have enjoyed Rotary since Rotarian Raja inducted me into Rotary about 10 years back, and the entire dynamics of my life have changed, and I have been very fortunate. Thank you, Rotary Central, and thank you, fellow Centralites. Thank you once again, and a very warm welcome to one and all here to witness the grand installation of the 41st President of Rotary Coimbatore Central, to wish incoming President Ashish Khemka all the best during the coming Rotary year 2020-21. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm a very modest president. I should point out to you all that he has been judged as best of the best presidents in the district this year. 2019-20 has been a year full of challenges for Rotary. Half the year there were restrictions on the movement of people, lockdowns and curfews. Yet, our President and Secretary have done a wonderful job. May I request the Secretary, Rotarian Ashish Khemka, to give a report of the activities during the year.
A very good evening to each and every one of you. I extend a warm welcome to our chief guest of honor, Mr. Chetan Bhagat, for his virtual presence at this gathering. It gives me immense pleasure to be able to deliver the Secretary's report in the presence of dignitaries such as DD Rotarian Maruti, AG Rotarian Sudhakar, GGR Rotarian KK Chugh, and distinguished PDGs. What an honor it has been to be the Deputy of Rotarian President P.S. Sitaraman for the year. Working with him through projects and events, I have realized how he always filled with energy and keeps a warm smile in every situation. Anna, I thank you for having asked me to be your deputy. I have had the opportunity to learn and grow with you even at the age of 50. The year began on a high. We started with President's motto of Live to Give, and indeed, we did live the whole year in giving our best at every stage and in every situation. We undertook a range of projects targeting every avenue. Our global grant project with Shankara Eye Hospital gave a gift of vision to the needy. We provided essential medical equipments to them at a budget of 32 lakhs. We have also provided Government Medical College and Hospital with medical equipments totaling 34 lakhs. The most significant project to me were the proactive ones. Rotary Central undertook an array of projects by providing ventilators, medical equipments and ration packets to government institutions and needy areas in the time of COVID-19. We have also done our part to the environment by donation of a tractor-drawn shredder, creation of green covers, and rainwater harvesting system. Other major projects include donation of incinerators, creation of 10 toilet blocks, 5 houses, and one-of-a-kind HPV vaccine program for prevention of cervical cancer. The list goes on and on. I am happy to announce that we have directly impacted the lives of more than 1,000 people through these projects and improved the life of generations in immeasurable ways. The valuation of commodity service project undertaken by us was at 115 lakhs and the total giving to RI Foundation is a whopping $42,000. Not only projects, we have been able to create an unbreakable bond among our fellow Rotarians with a versatile array of speaker meetings every week. To enlighten our scope, our fellowship fireside meetings and domestic trip to Gujarat. My only regret is that we could not do the Mediterranean cruise, but I am sure that we will pull it off in the near future. I would like to close my report by saying that working with President P.S. Sitaraman sir, I have realized that what leadership in Rotary means. You have always shown the way, you always go the way, most importantly, show the way. I thank every member of our Rotary family and well-wisher for supporting us throughout the year. Thank you.
It's our pleasure to have GGR Rotarian Chugh to join us for the meeting now. We request you, sir, to please come and join us on the dais. Welcome, sir. Rotarian Ashish, thank you for that wonderful Secretary's report. Your projects have given shelter to the downtrodden, medical aid to the needy, encouragement to the challenged, protection to the environment and touched numerous lives. And at the same time, the Rotary family has had several joyous occasions to meet and celebrate. And you have brought even the Rotarians closer to God by your trip to Gujarat. Each and every Rotarian congratulates you, President and Secretary, for a very purposeful and gay year. Thank you. But, wait, ye dil mange more. Our Secretary is taking over as the President for the coming year and will take our club to even greater heights. And who better to introduce the incoming President than President Sitaraman? He has worked with Rotarian Ashish Khemka for over a year and knows him from close quarters. We have been hearing about a she guiding Ashish. Manisha has been asking me who this she is. Maybe you can throw some light on it as you introduce our President.
It's a privilege for me to introduce my great friend and incoming President, Ashish Khemka. Our incoming President, born and brought up in a humble Marwar family, hails from the city of Calcutta. He has a bachelor's in commerce from the Calcutta University, and the man is not only big in size but also big in heart, and he has also made a big impact in the steel market, having travelled to Coimbatore from the city of Calcutta. Having realized the foundry market potential in Tamil Nadu area, he set up a shop here in Coimbatore. After 27 years, who can say that this man cannot speak Tamil? He is more fluent in Tamil rather than Bengali, which I am sure Manisha will agree with me. His work life extends from a range of foundry raw materials to renewable power generation. He is an expert in the field and his products speak for themselves. He was married to Manisha in the year 1993. Manisha is a home baker and caters delicacy from all around the world. Yes, nobody need to tell us. Seeing the size of our President, all of us will agree on the said fact. His son Yash is an electronics engineer from PhD Tech and an alumni of Harvard University. His daughter Mehak is an artist and is currently pursuing fashion designing from NIFT. Ashish has been a part of various social organizations. He was the president and treasurer of Roundtable India, Penta 101. He has been the secretary of Rotary Coimbatore Central during the Rotary at 2019-20 and the incoming president of our great club. Ashish is a highly insightful person with a mind for business and a big heart for service. He plunges completely into tasks he is assigned to and pours his heart into it. Being a Marwadi, business runs in his blood. He is a keen believer of karma and dharma. He believes that karma drives his future and his dharma steers his present. Friends, President Ashish Khemka for you.
After we have come to know more about Rotarian Ashish Khemka, we will now go to the collaring of him as the new president of Rotary Central of Coimbatore. May I now request outgoing President Sitaraman to don the collar on President Ashish Khemka in the presence of Sergeant at Arms GGR Chug, Rotarian Piyush Patwa, the Sergeant at Arms, and senior Rotarians, Rotarian Rajaram and Rotarian Raman. President Sitaraman will now pin the medal on Rotarian Ashish Khemka. President Sitaraman is handing over the gavel to President Ashish Khemka as a mark of passing off the authority to him. Ashish Khemka will now pin the immediate past president pin to IPP Rotarian Sitaraman. Gentlemen, notice how our Secretary Ashish Khemka has upgraded himself to President Ashish Khemka with a change in his coat from a open coat to a full suit.
President Ashish, this is the authority of the club, and I want you to use it only in the case of absolute necessity. In fact, during my tenure, I did not have an opportunity of using it, and I am very sure that you also will not have an opportunity, but you are directed to use it only in the case of absolute necessity. Wish you all the best, Ashish. I am throughout the entire tenure of your presidentship, and I am at your service. Wish you all the best, Ashish. Have a great year as a Rotary President of Rotary Coimbatore Central 2020-21. All the best.
Thank you.
President Ashish Khemka will now pin the immediate past president pin to Rotarian, immediate past president, Rotarian Sitaraman. As our new president comes into a new role, he will give over the role of secretary to our new incoming secretary, Rotarian Jagan Mohan. May I request Ashish Khemka to pass over the club charter and give the secretary's pin to Rotarian Jagan Mohan. There's a club charter changing hands. After the secretary handover, we have the pleasant task of the new Sergeant at Arms taking over. Rotarian Piyush Patwa will now hand over the rope to the incoming Sergeant at Arms, Rotarian Ravi Shanmugam. Now we come to the interesting part of the program. Our brand new president, Rotarian Ashish Khemka, will tell us his plans for the coming year. And Ashish, if you don't want problems at home, tell us who she is.
A very good evening to one and all. I extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Chetan Bhagat, DD Rotarian Maruti, AG Rotarian Sudhakar, GGR Rotarian KK Chugh, PDGs, Rotary Club leaders, and all my fellow Rotarians. I would like to thank you all for being here and also everyone else for making your presence felt virtually. I extend my heartiest thanks to immediate past President P.S. Sitaraman and to every member of Rotary Central family for enthralling their trust in me to take up the presidential post of our club for the year 2020-21. It's like a newly inducted batsman has been asked to open the Indian cricket team. Only time will tell whether this batsman can become a Dhoni or a Doshi. Jokes aside, this is a very emotional moment on a personal level. I hail from Kolkata, the land of Mother Durga, the land of She. I moved from Kolkata to Coimbatore in the year 1992, just out of college, with the only motto to prove myself. I landed in this foreign land of Coimbatore, which I now call my Karma Bhumi, my home. Like all of us, I too have worked with blood and sweat to establish myself in the field of business and to have a happy and balanced life. Until a few years ago, I believed that keeping my family happy and leading a balanced life was my only dharma. This is what I was made for. I was absolutely wrong. Nothing could have been farther from the truth. With social organization before and now with Rotary Coimbatore Central, these feelings have touched the core within me and have cemented over time. They continue to grow And I can definitely say that I, as a person, am more keen on serving people today than I was yesterday or any other day. Being in a club, here simplicity recounts friendship. I have the companionship of stalwarts who are the best in their field. From empires in institutions, sugars and textiles to the best doctors, businessmen, architects, and the best minds of this country, all joining their hands together with one motto and one dream only: to make a better tomorrow. Our club is like a Sri Krishna's chariot. The one in Mahabharata paved the way for Dharmaraj, righteous government and balanced life, whereas the one with us is to pave the way to service. Every Rotarian and an Annette contributes towards mechanics of this, and it is only because of each one's support and intent that this chariot moves forward. Like Lord Krishna's call to Arjuna to carry out his dharma in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, I too have been called upon by all of you to carry my part of the Rotary Central's dharma, service above self, by steering the Rotary Coimbatore Central's chariot for the year 2020-21. I promise you that I will do everything I can to make lives better for a happier tomorrow. The need of the hour is connect that can bring us closer together. What better than a war cry? Har Har Mahadev, a war cry which is my source of power and signifies Har Ek Mein Mahadev, translating to there is Shiva in every one of us. I believe that there is She in every one of us too. Without any further delay, I present to you our theme for the year: strides for shelter, health and environment, strides for She, strides for better tomorrow. These three focus areas, shelter, health and environment, are the ones that we'll primarily working on. They cover every area where we have been doing projects throughout the years, and we will continue to do so. Now, with the truth in heart, passion in work and humility in mind, I call upon all of you to come together and work with the agenda of making meaningful strides in shelter, health and environment. Coming to shelter, the ongoing pandemic has only brought us closer. It has made us realize the value of our home, our shelter. It only makes sense that we try to provide shelter to the masses. Rotary Central and its team will aim to create 20 houses, 100 toilet blocks for the needy in the rural areas. State-of-the-art toilet block for girl students at a special school. Health is everything. More than wealth, more than other material things in life, we plan to make meaningful strides in the health space for all. We aim to administer 750 HPV vaccines among girls to shield them from cervical cancer. Our global grant projects include Jain Dialysis Center, which will provide with dialysis machine to help them provide efficient health care for patient at a cost of 50,000 USD. Another global grant project in collaboration with the team at UIR is planned. UIR is a combined effort of the entire Coimbatore city. We will help the team at UIR realize their dream of zero accidents by doing our part. We have budgeted this project at 68,000 USD. Gift of Vision project in collaboration with the leader in its field, Shankara Eye Hospital, will be conducted. Project estimated at 42,000 USD. Navigating diabetes is difficult. It becomes all the more a challenge when it happens to children from limited backgrounds. Rotary Central will try to further enrich KMCA Juvenile Diabetic Center and help these children navigate the disease and with the ease at a budget of Rs 40,000 USD. Coming to environment, some of us here think about leaving behind materialistic things for our children and grandchildren, while as the other think about teaching them the best way in leading life. It's our duty to also think about leaving behind a habitable environment. The day is not far that fresh oxygen will be sold in bottles at local stores. Hence, we will be giving special emphasis on environment. We will aim to plant 10,000 saplings over the course of the year with a target of 1,000 saplings a month. Cleanliness drives will be conducted at places where necessary. Rotary is known for its proactive nature. When we see the need, we take the lead. As a team, we will all be open to events where support might be necessary. A corona vaccine, creation of extra bed at hospitals, we will do whatever we can, wherever we can, and more. It is important that we keep our Rotary family happy and keep meaningful connects and fellowship with various speaker meetings for the benefit of our members and possible outings both inter and intra-country. We hope to be stronger than ever as a team. I would like to finish by saying that together is a very important word in a team sport. Every one of us have their own traits, attributes and specialties. So Rotary Team 2020, some people are lucky that they meet because of a blessing, whereas the others are a blessing who turn around people's luck. Let's take the challenge head on, let's fire up our cylinders and swing into the sea of service together. Together we can, together we will, together we shall. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. That looks like a year full of flurry, chariots of fire, and a war cry from Shiva. We look forward to a year dedicated to She. And now I know why you are always following She. The whole Rotary Club joins you and dedicates itself to follow She, so we can improve the environment and the society together. The new president would like to start the new year with the induction of a new member. I request senior Rotarian and past president Rotarian K.R. Raman to induct the member into the movement.
Our new member to be inducted, Mr. G.N. Balachandar. Dear Centralites, invitees and friends, I have great pleasure in introducing the new star for the evening, Mr. G.N. Balachandar, 39-year young boy who is a management graduate from GRD Institute of Coimbatore and is an MBA from Cardiff, United Kingdom, and is a managing director of Genetics India Limited. He is the son of our illustrious past president G.C. Nageswaran, who brought our club to the highest level of recognition ever a club can endure and excel. He was the past president in the year 95-96, and in the year 96 he made Rotary Coimbatore Central 100% PHF club in the world. Mr. G.C. Nageswaran, known for so many firsts in our Rotary district and in the Rotary world. No doubt, we are proud to have the chip of the old block joining this great central club, and I have great pleasure in introducing the new member to be inducted, Mr. G.N. Balachandar, MBA. Mr. Balachandar. Mr. Balachandar is wedded to Dr. Sai Deepa and studied with a boy, Vedant. Mr. Balachandar, I have great pleasure to be inducting in this club. You are joining in this club, a club of greatness by its nature, by its stature, and by its performance. The things we think say or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? This is the four-way test by which every Rotarian has been inducted, and this is the same four-way test wherein your father was inducted in Rotary in the year 1982, and in fact he brought glory, honor and pleasure to this Rotary. Therefore I recognize and realize such great realm of your father, and I am sure you will keep it up with that. With these few words, I have great pleasure in adorning you with the pin of the Rotary of Central. You may be called Centralite. Mr. Balachandar has become a Rotarian Balachandar.
Rotary Central is happy to have Assistant Governor A.G. Sudhakar joining us today. We welcome him to join us on the podium, please. Welcome, sir. After that awe-inspiring speech by our President, we'll now see the team he has put together to achieve all those dreams. I will start by introducing all members of the team. The team will be led by President Rotarian Ashish Khemka, immediate past President Rotarian P.S. Sitaram, Secretary Rotarian Jagan Mohan, President-elect Rotarian Ashwin Kumar J, Vice President Rotarian Ashwin Shi Thakkar, Treasurer Rotarian Sunil Nahata, Joint Secretary Rotarian Subbu Palniyappan, Sergeant at Arms Rotarian Dr. Piyush Patwa, Sergeant at Arms Rotarian Ravi Shanmugam, President nominee Rotarian N. Subramaniam, Chair Club Administration and Information Rotarian J. Ganesh, Chair Club Administration and Information Rotarian Bikram Khona, Chair Membership Development and District Priorities Rotarian Balaji Jagadishan, Chair Membership Development Rotarian Siddharth Shankar, Chair Service Projects Rotarian Kamlesh Patel, Chair Service Projects Rotarian Vijayanand, Chair Community Service Rotarian Amit Duga, Chair Community Service Rotarian Ashwin Balasubramaniam, Chair Public Image Rotarian Sanjay Kondas, Bulletin Editor Rotarian E.R. Rajaram, Chair District Priorities Rotarian Manoj Raghavan, Chair District Priorities Rotarian Rajkumar KG, Chair Rotary India Projects Rotarian Krishna Kumar N, Chair Rotary India Projects Rotarian Sachin Kotecha, Chair Rotary India Projects Rotarian Dr. Padmanabhan V, Chair Rotary India Projects Rotarian Vishwanathan G, Chair RI Priorities Rotarian Vidyashankar R, Chair International Club Service Rotarian Rajesh Kikani, Chair Vocational Service Rotarian Kamal Shah, Chair Vocational Service Rotarian Pradeep Rajaram, Master of Ceremonies Rotarian Bharat Shah, Speaker Bank Rotarian P.M. Murali, Trustee Rotarian Balasundaram D, Trustee Rotarian Damodaran N, Trustee Rotarian S. Manikam, Advisor Rotarian Dr. S.V. Balasubramaniam, Advisor Rotarian Dr. K.P. Ramaswamy, Advisor Rotarian T.S. Ramnishankar, Advisor Rotarian Nalaji Palaniswamy, Advisor Rotarian Dr. R.V. Ramani, Advisor Rotarian Dr. Kandaswamy, Advisor Rotarian Mahavir B. Jain, Advisor, Rotarian Dr. S. Rajshekharan. After the introduction of that wonderful team, which is going to take our Rotary to great heights, we move on to the felicitations. The district is behind the new president in all his endeavors. Here is the GGR from the district to felicitate our president and wish him good luck.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, DD, our respected AG, President, President Rotarian Ashish Khemka, Secretary Rotarian Jagan Mohan, and all G39 presidents, secretaries, and fellow Rotarians, ANs and ANITs. A warm welcome to all of you. I am GGR KK Chug, Rotarian KK Chug from Coimbatore Metropolis Club, given the task of as GGR of your club. It's my proud privilege and honor to felicitate Rotarian Ashish Khemka, who has been installed just now as President of Rotary Club of Coimbatore Central. I extend my warm wishes and greet him on this occasion. He has taken up the task of leading this very big club, very old and traditional club of Coimbatore and of this district 3201. You are doing wonders. On the Yes Day celebrations on the 1st of July, you have done all the three verticals of Yes, which is the district priority of our DG Rotarian Jose Chaco. And you have very big plans. I wish you all the best, that all the projects are taken care of. And you can reach us anytime if you have any issues concerning any district issues or any help you require. I am available 24/7. Feel free to call me, talk to me, or send me a message. We'll be there to help you. I wish your incoming team also all the very best, who will support you all in all your endeavors to complete all the projects. So again, wishing Rotarian Ashish Khemka and his team all the very best, and they take up all the projects with enthusiasm and vigor. Thank you very much.
Now I request AG Sudhakar to felicitate our president.
Respected President Ashish Khemka, Secretary Rotarian Jagan Mohan, outgoing President Sitaram, and our outgoing Secretary Ashish Khemka. So it's really a big boon for the Central Club to take his club to forward. What a fabulous year last year they had. They made a lot of achievements and they have won laurels during the 2019-20. So I suggest a few projects in which he could do in this year. Space available in the center of Coimbatore, that is Gandhipuram. Recently they have started a petrol bank and a series of shops. So there he has invited us to create a Rotary Park. Plus he is giving us a place where we can conduct a big central auditorium. We can conduct an auditorium for Rotary, where Central Club can take the initiative to build an auditorium there, because that is the one which Coimbatore requires a hall. I suggest that we can have a Rotary channel like YouTube or a website where we can telecast all the weekly programs of our G39 clubs, and on a weekend we can telecast for all our Rotarian families. There are about 3,000 to 4,000 Rotarian families. Since we are in the virtual platform, we can have a weekend like from 6 o'clock to 7:30. We can have a program. Initially, we can have a talk because your club has got a lot of icons and stalwarts are there, so they can come and talk about the life. There seems a lot of doctors are there, and your projects are so health oriented. They can give some tips for the lifestyle because of this COVID-19. A lot of things are changing, so that will be a good thing. We can take it can be a talk show for about 30 minutes. Then we can have some program like talents. Like in Metropolis, we got C.G. Kumar, and then in Uptown, we got Chamma. A lot of talents people are there. In Metropolis, a lot of people are there. So we can utilize them and just engage our family of Rotary sitting at their home so that they feel that, yes, Rotary, we belong to Rotary family. So that is one of my suggestions. I wish Rotarian Khemka, Rotarian Jagan Mohan, and his team a very fabulous and wonderful year and a very successful year.
We are fortunate this evening to have the district officials gracing this function as a mark of our respect we would like to adorn them with a shawl. May I request Rotarian Raman to adorn the shawl to GGR Rotarian KK Chug. I would not request Rotarian Rajaram to adorn a shawl to AG Sudhakar.
Rotarian Ashish Khemka, President, Rotarian Jagan Mohan, Secretary, the great writer, having a great fan following, an amazing orator, Mr. Chetan Bhagat, our Chief Guest for the evening, Rotarian Sita Raman, immediate past President, Rotarian Sudhakar, Assistant Governor, Rotarian KK Chug, GGR, Annettes of this great club, and PDGs and other invited office bearers of Rotary and friends. Very warm good evening to you all. When I had the opportunity to discuss with Rotarian Sita Raman on a couple of occasions, be it the project connected with Swachh Bharat, with the corporation, Coimbatore Corporation, or with the public image, I've always found him to accommodate all my ideas. Not just taking my ideas and implementing it, but he also enhanced it and made sure the reach is very, very big. No wonder Rotarian Sita Raman is the best president of our district. And no wonder Central Club has won so many awards. The many projects what Central Club does is not just catering to the society, but fulfilling to the needs of the society completely. This is exactly what our last year Rotary theme was, Rotary Connects the World. Rotary has certainly connected the world, and Rotary Club of Coimbatore Central, you have done an amazing job. The kind of members we have in our elite club is, it's amazing. We have all the top industrialists in our club, and each one contributing to make every project huge and mammoth shows what you have done last year. Be it the Global Grant project at Shankara High Hospital, or being at the COVID time providing ventilators to GH, or tractor-drawn shredders, the mammoth tree planting which you undertook, rainwater harvesting systems which you provided, the incinerators, creation of 10 toilet blocks and 5 houses. The list goes on, and especially your cervical cancer vaccine program. Contribution to TRF again during your year was always you have the upper limit in the district, 50,000 and 60,000 and much more, and you've done just the same last year too. All these service you rendered to the community, you have been recognized as the best president and one of the best clubs in our district. Central club. That's why maybe you are called it as a Central Club, and many clubs inspire to be what Central is today. Congratulations to you, sir. Coming to our Khemkaji, who has got a great run as a secretary last year. This year, he has again taken over the mantle from Sita Ramanji, and he is having a huge list of projects to be done. When he sent me the report, I was so happy to see. When the year is beginning and the kind of projects he's lined up, now he's going to take the club to the next level for sure. 20 houses. When the target was asked from the district, I was little, I didn't know how much to commit. I said I'll do around 100 houses. And now I see 20 houses is going to be done by Central itself. 100 toilet blocks for the needy, especially considering the rural area. And for the special children, you are going to come up with a state-of-art restroom that again, it shows how deeply you think to reach to the real needy. Your vaccination program, your dialysis machine you're planning to provide, and your big participation in Project Veer to make our roads absolutely safe. That's a great project, and I'm sure with your participation, Veer is going to achieve its objective. And again, your engagement with the Shankara Eye Hospital is going to continue in a very big way. Your juvenile diabetic project, which you want to enhance this year, again, that's going to, that's a great project. Nowadays, the lifestyle is so bad. Children are into early stages, they develop diabetes. This again is such a meaningful project. 10,000 trees you plan to plant this year. My God, the entire district says it's 1 lakh trees this year. Of course, fully we need to make sure that all the trees are properly taken care. 10,000 trees from a single club, you're going to be a big motivation for the rest of the 145 clubs in our district. And I'm sure these 10,000 trees are going to create a big lung space for our Coimbatore. And the most important thing in Khemkaji, your project, your proposed projects I saw was providing of extra beds for the COVID patients. We all very well know that the COVID is spreading so rapidly and many areas have been cordoned. And in certain areas, hundreds of patients have been identified. It's all hearsay. I sincerely wish it's not the correct fact, but going by what we hear, we are certainly already, I assume that we are going in shortage of beds. Your idea of providing extra beds in hospitals or maybe creating beds in schools or colleges or whatever you plan, it's going to serve the community so well. And especially at this crisis when people are under panic of not getting beds, this initiative is going to win you big laurels. Leave alone the laurels, but your intention of doing this project is remarkable. And request to you, Khemkaji and Club Central, Rotarians and Rotary connected families and their staff or whatever, kindly have some beds for all of us. You know, it's only a matter of time. Some of us might get infected. Anyway, it's a lovely opportunity for me to extend my felicitation. I wish Khemkaji and his team a wonderful Rotary year, and we office bearers are with you to ensure that your year is purposeful. Thank you so much.
Ashish, congratulations taking over as the president of the prestigious club of Rotary Club of Coimbatore Central. We wish you, your secretary and the team all the best for the years to come. You are an energetic fellow, young man with a lot of ideas. I am sure you will take the club to the greatest level and to the glory for the year 2020-21. All the best to you. We are with you to help you in any event you want, in any way you want. We are with you to help you. Congratulations once again. All the best.
Hello Ashish and Manisha. Congratulations on taking over as the president of the Rotary Club of Coimbatore Central and our Ants Club of Coimbatore Central. We are extremely happy that an young person, an energetic person is taking over. The couple who are made for each other, and I'm sure with your energy, Ashish, and your new ideas, you will take us to higher heights. And I am sure, Manisha, you will be presenting us with lot of recipes and lot of eating, lot of fun. And we wish you both a very happy Rotary 2020 and 2021. Expecting, and any help, anytime, we are all there with you. We will support you in all the projects and eagerly waiting for the year with a lot of projects and lot of eating and fireside meetings and enjoyment. Thank you. All the best to both of you.
Ashish, let your popularity grow in the Rotary as much as your beard has grown.
I request Rotarian Siddharth Shankar to introduce the guest of the evening, Chetan Bhagat.
It is indeed a great honor and privilege to introduce somebody of the stature of Mr. Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat today is one of the most prominent personalities in contemporary Indian literature. He's a novelist, columnist, public speaker and a screenplay writer whose notable works include 5 Point Someone, the 5 Point Someone's 3 Mistakes of My Life, 2 States, Making India Awesome. Most of his literary work addresses the issues related to Indian youth and their aspiration, which has earned Mr. Bhagat's status of a youth icon. Mr. Bhagat was born to a traditional Punjabi family. His father served as a lieutenant colonel in the Indian Army, while his mother worked in the agriculture department of the government. He attended IIT Delhi, majoring in mechanical engineering, and subsequently studied in IIM Ahmedabad and married fellow student Anusha Suryanarayanan in 1998. He was considered as the best outgoing student of his batch in IIM Ahmedabad. Upon graduation, he moved to Hong Kong with his family, where he worked for 11 years with Goldman Sachs as an investment banker. After that, he decided to switch his career and embarked on his passion for writing. His debut novel, 5 Point Someone, What Not to Do at IIT, was published in 2004. This deals with unfair grading system adopted by the higher education system, which places students into the higher and lower echelon based on their rote learning skills. In 2008, he penned The 3 Mistakes of My Life, which is based on the all-time favorite Indian sport of cricket. The novel touched upon various social issues and was adapted to film and released in 2013 as Kai Po Che, which became a sensational blockbuster hit. Mr. Bhagat's novel, Two States, The Story of My Marriage, is an autobiographical novel that focuses on the prevailing issue of interstate marriages in India. It is based on Mr. Bhagat's and his wife's own experience, who, like the protagonist of the novel, relentlessly tries to convince their respective family of different castes to approve of their marriage. Mr. Bhagat has written many more books, from Revolution 2020 to What Young India Wants in 2012, which tells a beautiful story and gives a social message to the reader. Mr. Bhagat is the recipient of Society Young Achievers Award, Publishers Recognition Award, and Filmfare Award for Best Screenplay. Rotary Club of Coimbatore Central is pleased to have Mr. Bhagat as his guest of honor for today's installation ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Chetan Bhagat.
Hi guys. Wow, this is quite a very unusual way of doing things. Thank you for that wonderful introduction and inviting me. Thank you, Mr. Siddharth Shankar. Thank you, Ashish ji. And I can see a lot of people. The one benefit of this doing it on the web is I can read many of names. So Brinda ji, Kamlesh ji, Sanjay ji, Kalyani ji, Dr. Krishna, Usha ji, Ramasamy ji, Kamal Shah, Sundesan, Rangarajan Siasi, Sachin Kuteja ji, Raviraj Krishnan ji, Nitin Shah, Ashwin Thakkar, Rajesh ji, Raman ji, Prakash ji, Kandasamy ji. I think these are the ones I can see on my window right now. So I don't know if
Absolutely. We have a lot of people online, and this is also streaming live at a few places.
Yes.
So yes,
so there are 105 people. So I'm sorry if I can't do attendance of everyone. But I'm trying, Wow, Satyam, Saujanya, Shuchina, Shanti, Siddharji, Sitaram ji, Sokalingam, Subbu, Sumitra, Suresh. These are all just the S's I'm reading, by the way. And Trijil, Usha ji, Usha, and Vardarajan, VP, Mohankar. So thank you so much, guys, and thank you for doing this. And this is truly in the Rotary's, it's the club 15841 RI 3201. But it is truly in that Rotary's never give up spirit that even under the current circumstances, you did this event. And I see there was a small gathering also, and there is this, a lot of people on the webinar also are there, which is very unique. I've done a few webinars, but nothing like that, where there is an actual, it's a hybrid kind of event. So that is definitely innovative. It's definitely something that gives me ideas for doing other things. And like, I would have really liked to be in Coimbatore. This is not my preferred style. This is the new world we are in right now. But it is my preferred style to actually come there and meet all of you. And I hope one day that will happen as well. I'll just make a few opening remarks on this. Obviously, We are living in very unusual times, and I'm sure you've read a lot, and everybody is obsessed about the corona cases and vaccines and all kinds of news going on. And I think this has, it's fair to say that this has gone on longer than what anybody anticipated. Most of the people in this group are older, so I think there's a, and neither am I very young. So I think the health concerns are there. But everybody, normally when I do events for students and all, that they are very concerned. People are very concerned, not just about the health, but also about their careers, about jobs, about what's going to happen. For example, the graduating class of this year, they are so uncertain. 2 weeks ago, I did a webinar to motivate people who are in a hotel management institute. Now imagine all the hotels are shut. So everybody's getting job cuts in hotels and people are getting laid off. And I'm supposed to motivate them and say it's going to be okay to the batch which is graduating after doing hotel management, and they don't have any jobs to go to. So I think it is in times like these, organizations that Rotary have to play a big part. Rotaries, I know I've done many events of Rotary all over the country, and I know that they do a lot of good work, and there are certain projects which are long term in nature. But I think this is a very unusual thing that has come up, and I don't know, there are so many levels at which that affects, and the health and the hospital and the masks are one thing, but I think what is happening to now is the mental health issue, which is obviously not something that is so easy to discuss. You can discuss, oh, we need face masks, oh, we need PPE, we need ventilators. But I am seeing people who have small businesses, who are just have no visibility what's going to happen. I have seen people who have EMIs, who are stuck and they don't have a job. I've seen young students who are who had so many dreams and so many ideas 6 months ago, and now they are going through a very, very rough time. And I think they may not be like sick, or like they may not have fever, but mentally they are not okay. And I think that's where, I mean, I'm sure you guys are also doing something on that's something I'm also thinking about, that there is a looming mental health crisis which is going to be there all over the world right now. And I think we just need to come out of it. I am not going to be only negative, I'm going to be positive also. I firmly believe that things will get okay. It's just taken much longer than people thought. If people thought it'll be 1 month, 2 months, chalo, 3 months, you know. But I can say with certain things, like I was there during SARS in Hong Kong, which was another brother of this COVID only. It's also a coronavirus. And I used to live in Hong Kong, which was the biggest epicenter of the SARS virus. And at that time, there was absolute panic in Hong Kong and all around that region, because that was also quite a deadly kind of virus. It did not spread like corona so much. You know, so it was the asymptomatic transmission wasn't that much, in that only people who were symptomatic used to transfer. So that why the epidemic lasted only 2-3 months. But in those 2-3 months, things were absolute chaos in Hong Kong. The stock market had fallen 50%, property prices had fallen 50%, people were losing jobs, all kind of things. And people really, really felt that's when things fall 50%, is that it's over. You know, it's like the world will never be the same again. And then in a few months, Hong Kong became okay and the world became okay, and people forgot about SARS and everything went okay. Same will happen here. But as far as Mother Nature is concerned, it doesn't matter whether it's 3 months or 9 to Mother Nature. It doesn't matter to it. And but to us, it matters a lot. 3 months is one way to deal with the situation. It's 10-12 weeks. 9 months is almost a year to deal with the situation. And I think that's where we never anticipated that that's going to happen. So I think for that, it's a different level of preparation. It doesn't, 9 months, for example, means that we cannot have a 9-month lockdown. It is just impossible. But then what is it? Do we? And I think masks and social distancing kind of are doing their job. And what do we do about the youth and their energy and their economy, the economy that we have in the country? For example, something like this event, if we were actually having an actual event, there would be so much economic benefit that will come out of it. People, I would have flown down, people would have flown down, there'll be hotels booked, there'll be event managers, there'll be so many people. All those people don't have work today. So I think that is definitely, I believe, is going to be the goal of organizations like Rotary, to help the world survive this and stay mentally sane in a way, that we come out of it at the other side okay. That we tell people that it will get over, beta, but it will not get over so soon. And this is how life is going to be during this period, and then the afterwards period, and then things will get normal. So I think those are some of the top concerns in my head right now, and I don't know where to go to for that. So I think an organization like Rotary is where some of this can happen, because how much can the government do, and what will the government do? The government already runs deficits. In good year also, our government is spending more than it earns. In a normal year also, now they spend a little more, but that's mainly on like some healthcare or to help the poorest of the poor, give them some food. But what about the middle classes? What about the entrepreneurs? What about people who had dreams? What about people, and I think that is definitely something one we all need to think about. And just before ending my opening remarks, the second thing is about ourselves. One is for society, what we can do. The second thing is for ourselves, as what do we do in this period? And I think it's a perfect forced way everyone has become spiritual, because we never get the time. Like I can say for myself, I was all over the place. I'd have 5 meetings a day. I'd be flying every week for events. Like I would have been in Coimbatore today. I'm sure 2 days later I'd be going somewhere else. Then I'd be in Bombay. Then I'd be working on some movie thing, some book thing. I was running, and I didn't even know I was running. I didn't even know that life can have a pause button, and I hated the pause button when it happened. When I said, "What is this? This is so this is not me," because for the last 11 years, since I've been like writing and speaking, and I have not hit the pause button. And for me, that was agonizing in the first few weeks, but later on, it really cleared up my mind. And I think I'm one of the fortunate ones who doesn't have to worry that much about. Of course, a lot of my events business, a lot of my films are stuck. Everything is stuck. So if I look at it in that way, how much business is lost? I mean, but I don't look at it that way now, because I feel like this pause was kind of necessary. And now it has helped me realize who are the important people in my life, what is the exact important work in my life, and what am I here for. And this is something part of spirituality, being in touch with who you are, being your true self, being authentic to yourself, living the life coming from your inner guidance. We all talk about it, but we never actually get around to doing it, because सब अपने धंधे में busy हैं, और बस वो धंधा ही आपको चला रहा है, आप धंधा नहीं चलाते, धंधा आपको चलाता है. And I think now with this crisis, we all of us have taken that pause, and I think the pause is longer than most people would like. Like I would have been like, okay, 3 months pause, done now. Now I've understood the meaning of life. Let me go back to work. But it's not possible. I happened to be here in Singapore when the lockdown happened, and since then there've been no international flights, nothing. Everything is shut. I haven't seen Bombay for 4 months, and I was doing so many things over there. So it's just something I have learned, and I'm trying to see the positive in it, that this is a sign from above. And please use this pause. It's not stop, in the stereo or in a TV or whatever, YouTube video, there is pause and there is stop. This is not stop. This is a long pause. And ask yourself, why has this pause come? How can I become a better person? What can I learn in this pause to be a different person when the pause is over? Because it will get over. and the world's craziness will start again, and you will not get time to think like you have right now. So please get contemplative, get meditative, get spiritual in this time, for especially the kind of crowd we have today, the Rotarians, people who already think about things. That's why they even join a Rotary. Yeah. So I think that those were some of my opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Chetan, for your opening remarks. And I once again would like to welcome you to this installation ceremony of Rotary Coimbatore
Yes.
Central. And we'll now focus some of your questions, towards the education system and the economy. So my first question to you would be, India is a country where three I's are obsessed upon, the IIT, IIM, and the Indian government services. However, when it comes to jobs, real jobs, businesses want to hire skill-based labor. These skill-based labor are again given a backseat when it comes to promotions and taking up CXO level posts. How do you think that we as a society can bridge this gap between skill and having a fancy degree?
Yeah. Everybody is after the fancy degree because of stability. They just want certain security. Everybody wants to get settled. India में सबसे एक word है जो India में ही, there is this word is in India only. If you see the matrimonial advertisements of India, the word you won't find anywhere is everybody wants settled boy, well settled boy, like well settled, not all settled. And this word settled comes from, where it comes from. In school, we used to do a sedimentation experiment. And that sedimentation experiment, what was that experiment was that you take a water and then you take some mud and you mix it, and then the mud settles down. That thing that settled down, that doesn't move, is called settle. And everybody wants to get settled. And from there, people want to be in these three I's that you say. Now, there's nothing wrong in that. But the problem is that only 1% of, that's an option for only 1-2% of people, right? 1%. IIT, IIM is even less. Government services also, how much can everybody cannot work for the government. And even if you get it, it's very less. And even if you do, the growth is limited in that. Not all government jobs are great. Some government jobs are good. Some are like very frustrating. And for a young person, yeah, some people may like it, but there is a lot of things outside also. The world works on skill. The world works on what you can offer to business. And I think that is sometimes not dependent on a degree. I think IIT, IIM becomes a little brand that, okay, this child, this student can work hard. This student can, beat everybody else in an exam. That is all it tells you. But there are so many things which have nothing to do with IIT or IIM, and they are creating value in the world today. For example, I don't think unless you're doing a very specific computer science engineering, only around 5% of people in IIT do computer science engineering. The rest are all doing mechanical, civil, chemical. Now, technology is out in the world in a big way. And apart from that small section of computer engineers, the others are not that familiar with it. Whereas, if you are not, even if you haven't done an IIT degree, but you are very good at coding or very good at computers, you are very much in demand today. But you need to know what is the latest thing in those fields, because those things are changing non-stop. You need to be at the cutting edge. You need to be a very adaptive person, and you need to be a good, hardworking, disciplined, and smart worker. That there is no getting away from. I can say that IIT IIM is not important, but what you are as a person, what is your work ethic, what is your learning ability, how smart are you at figuring out what the world wants? I think that is what is of value. This platform we are talking on, this Zoom, this was there like even last year it was there, but it wasn't that popular. Now, because of this pandemic, Zoom has literally zoomed up. If you just see Google the Zoom share price, Zoom video share price, it is up 300% just in the last 5 months. And I think it's like 400-500% if you look at 1 or 2 years ago. And it wasn't even there. It's some $70 billion company today. Now, why? I'm not saying that everybody should then therefore do Zoom. I am saying that this wasn't there and an opportunity came up. So opportunities are coming up. There is business to be done always. You know, even in the pandemic, there are business opportunities. It's kind of very sad what is happening in the pandemic, but at the same time, from an economic or a business point of view, there are opportunities. So if people have that faith in themselves, that it's not necessary that, oh, I got a job in, I don't know, the state department, I became somebody, I become a junior level person in some state department government office. That is the ultimate aim in life. You will probably gain much more if you figure out what the trends are today and what you have to offer. And I think those attitudes have to change in students, of course, parents, and teachers also, and in the kind of courses that are being offered over there. A lot of times, if you see, so many colleges are opening, but what are they trying to do? Copy the IITs. Because why? Because that's the demand. मेरे बच्चे को, like, engineer बना दो, like make my child an engineer. And I think that won't do anything. And that's why there are so many people who don't have jobs. What you need is, what does the world need today? And today, somebody who's very good at coding and working with apps is in demand. I don't care what college they are from. So, but it doesn't mean that's always going to be the case. 2 years later, something else may come. Whatever that thing is, you have to position yourself for that. And I think we live in times where things may keep changing also. So I think that's how education is really changing. It is not just about doing a video lecture or not doing a video lecture. What are you studying in that video lecture, right? If they're doing online learning, it doesn't mean you are doing something very advanced. If they're still teaching outdated stuff in online learning, then there is no point of that.
Right. Thank you. That was a wonderfully said answer, Chetan. Now, I'd like to come to a more recent concern of our education system today. Most of the Indian students study in government schools and government colleges. Now, these schools and colleges are shut down from the 24th of March, and they're on a long leave. Now, Tamil Nadu, for one state, has launched Project Kalvi, wherein they are taking education at the doorstep by providing DTH boxes and pre-recording classes and playing them. What do you think that Rotary as an organization can do to help these children not lag behind due to education and due to Corona?
Yeah, I mean, I really think this is not being discussed enough. We are discussing cases every day. We are discussing recovery rate every day. We are discussing, I mean, Corona affects everything. So we are discussing so much around it, but we are not discussing its impact on education. And we are just simply saying, Acha, let's do online learning and let's do this. Let's do it over DTH. It doesn't work like that. It's not the same. If you could learn, if you could just learn by putting the TV on and watching a Tata Sky, and you think you can really learn everything, then we wouldn't need schools. It works for a few weeks. Yes, it works for a few weeks, but that's it. You cannot shift to that. You cannot. I mean, we find it difficult to pay attention in a video conference, right? I know people are listening to me right now, but if I was there on stage, imagine let's say in the garden of a hotel, and you were all there in chairs listening, I would have 100% attention. Now, some of you did check your phone in the middle. I just know that it happens. Now, imagine a small child. How distracted do children get? Can you really put them in school like the same way, 7 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock, one online class after the other, even if you give the DTH and you think they're going to learn? So I think we are not discussing and we are not getting practical about these things. We cannot make it 100% online. Then there are technological reasons also. Not everybody in India has a good connection. My own office in Bombay, the connection keeps dropping. We have 2 Wi-Fi providers, and still somehow, we don't have good Wi-Fi some days. Now, when you're depending on college, now your class is going on, right? It's not one-on-one. So you have 60 students in class. Now, 55 students have good Wi-Fi, 5 don't have it that day. Then, are they going to miss the lecture? Or they're going to watch the recording later? I mean, it's just very complicated. And I think we will need to open the schools. We will need to figure out how to open the schools. We may need to say, okay, only 3 days a week. Okay. We may need to say only half the students every day. We may need to say shifts. We may need to say social distancing. We may need to do masks. We may need to do hand washing, sanitizer. And I think that blueprint has to come. It may not be possible immediately, but it will eventually have to be done. How can you do an entire generation teaching them while watching a DTH box or like this? You can do it for a temporary period. But if this is going to be there for a long time, I think it's almost better to say, okay, no teaching 1 year. Everybody take a break. 10-month holiday, fine. I know it sounds, children will be happy only, but but we will not, already it's not like India's education quality was so great that, oh my God, it's already like, just even with the colleges open, children are not learning properly, or with schools. Now you're going to shift it and put the onus on the 11-year-old child that he will have his computer open or he'll have his TV open, but he will not switch the windows and play a video game when the teacher is teaching maths day after day. That's never going to happen. So I think what Rotary can do is come up with a blueprint of a safe reopening of schools and how it's going to work, and accept the fact that we cannot shift this online for a year, or they can even pitch that let's shut it down for 6 months. It's okay. Or shut it down for junior classes at least. And I'm not going to attempt to tell you what to do, but that discussion maybe in the experts, everybody in Rotary can discuss that in our town, what do we do about the schools? Are we really going to shut them and just, okay, it's about whoever can do online, whoever can do DTH, do it. And then that's how it's going to be. Because if they don't learn, many of the concepts in maths, for example, if you have a very terrible learning in grade 7, you will not understand grade 8. You will not understand grade 9. You will not understand grade 10. So then what do we do? So it's better no 6 months you don't study, or come up with another way, or say that, okay, we're going to teach students in the garden of the school. Everybody sits in the garden 4 feet away. I don't know, but we must pay attention to this. It's especially for education, that what are we really doing? Is it just about saying, oh, do it like that? Or is the education equally effective? When you're chatting with a person, even that I would say it doesn't work. If you and I chat on a video call, yeah, we can achieve a lot, but it is still not the same as a face-to-face meeting. But we can still do it. But to teach a class of 60 youngsters day after day and hope that it'll achieve the same as the school does, it's never going to happen.
Right. Your suggestions are noted down by us and all the Rotary leaders. And Chetan,
great.
Now, coming to mental health, we are deeply saddened with what happened to Sushant Singh Rajput, and I, for one, know you were closely associated with him. Yes. And so talking about this becomes imperative. And most of us have been raised around by people, associating mental health with the words like retard or crazy. So I want to know, what is the stigma that shrouds mental illness, and how do we, make people talk about it, not consider it a taboo?
Yeah. Firstly, I mean, like on Sushant, it was just so terrible and so sudden and so shocking. Sushant, as many people know, was his first movie was Kai Po Che, which was based on my book. So in a way, it is my story that was the first movie he did, and from that movie did well, and then he had become a movie star after that. So in a way, I always felt kind of responsible and very proud also. I used to feel like, we've launched him, like it's kind of like he used my story to launch himself into a new career. And it was in a very weird sort of way, like you feel the same pride. When he did well, I used to feel good because, ye to hamara bachcha hai types, this is like my child. And when this happened, it was just stunningly astonishing. And, you think it's okay, mental health and all is just a new term that has come up until something like this happens. And then you're like, okay, this is serious, man. This can, if you let it go out of control, it's terrible. Now, I think the confusion comes, one is of course the lack of awareness that this is sometimes it is a disease and sometimes it may not be. And I think that's because when you have fever, I can check your fever. I have a mercury thermometer which will show me the mercury reading, and I can confirm, and I can touch you and you'll be warm. Mental health, I can't tell, right, so easily. I mean, another human being can't tell that, you know, you have a problem. And mental health is 100 different ways. Somebody may have it all the time. Somebody may only have it 2 hours of the day. So I think that's the other issue. Also, sometimes we just feel sad and it's not mental health. Like, you know, I don't know, you miss your bus or you miss your train or you miss your flight. You'll feel very sad, but it doesn't mean you need to see a mental health doctor for that. You just have a natural response. Sometimes, you know, someone insults you, or someone, you have a breakup, or somebody disrespects you. You may feel terrible, and but you're okay with it after a while. So that's not necessarily something which requires a medical kind of intervention there. Fine. So what is mental health? Of course, more experts and doctors will tell you better. But from my understanding so far is that if it sustains, you know, if it's not just a very small situation thing that, okay, I was walking and my, you know, foot fell in the ditch and my clothes got spoiled and I'm feeling terrible for 1 hour, or something like that. If it's not a very incident related sadness, if it's something that is there for a long time and you feel that something's not right, I behave differently from others, or I have too many negative thoughts, or I have too much anxiety, or my sleep is getting affected too much, and or you know, or I'm not interested in things. And when that becomes repetitive, which I guess you can say becomes chronic, that's when you know that something's not right. And what happens is people on a day-to-day basis, it may seem that oh, he's just having a bad day, he's just not in a good mood. But if it is every day, then there is a problem. And that problem could even be that at a inside your brain something is not functioning properly. And I think that people don't realize. People always feel it's about the attitude. I see it because, like, people say you motivate people, you're a motivation. So I think these people lack motivation. Then motivation can only do so much, but I can help you come out of a situation. You know, you had a breakup, and if you don't have a mental health issue, you'll feel bad, but I can make you feel a little better, and I can make you recover from the breakup faster. That's it. But if it is not going away, whether breakup or no breakup, you're always feeling terrible, then I can't help you. I mean, then it requires some more professionals who can handle this. And I think these differences are not there in the minds of people. People don't know this. So I think with someone like a Sushant, he clearly had mental health issues, because that is the ultimate proof. If someone commits suicide, that means, yeah, they had. But that should not be the way to find out, right? So the only way you can find out is the person himself or herself says it, or the people very close to them who see them every day, you know, they can mention it. And then there should be some intervention. What happens is people say, "Are yaar, ye to aise sada hua hai." You know, like, so he is always a grouchy man. He's a grumpy man. And I think we know when it's just a grumpy attitude or it's something more deeper which is happening. And I think that's all we can hope to achieve. What should not happen is everything is not mental health. Like I said, one incident, one bad day, you know, is not mental health. But some things are definitely in the realm of mental health, meaning it needs professional help. You cannot, you know, sometimes things don't function properly, like lungs don't function properly, your brain will not function properly. So I think these things are not under our control, and people make it out to be, it's because of him that he's having this problem. So I think, and I am telling you that given this lockdown, given this thing, the daily sadness may become chronic for a lot of people, and it's not getting okay. The plans are not getting okay. You don't have a job. You don't even know how you'll get a job. Your whole dreams right now seem like nothing seems to be working out. There'll be a huge mental health crisis in our country, and we are not even talking about it. We are like thinking about, okay, GDP growth maximum, or like, you know, corona cases, or do we have enough face masks? All good things, but this is also coming.
Absolutely, and physical and mental health is extremely important during these times.
Yeah.
We cannot emphasize more on that. And now moving to a recent event, Chetan, wherein I read an article about which was written by you on the India and China LAC situation. You've written about the Guangxi relationship, wherein it's basically a policy wherein you scratch my back and I scratch yours. So I
Yeah.
want to ask from you that we all know that in China, face is very important, and you've written that we should allow the Chinese to save their face, be gracious. So why do you think that this is the right approach in tackling the
Yeah.
Chinese?
Yeah. So again, normally in such events, I don't like to talk politics. And while your question is not purely politics, it has become political issue in our country. While this is not something, I don't think this should be seen as politically so much, in the sense like it shouldn't be. This is not about what one party and the other party. This is a national crisis, and we have to deal with it as one people. And it is very fashionable to say that, oh, okay, China, we're going to teach them a lesson and things like that. Uh, and unless you say that, people almost feel, Arey, yaar, why are you defending China? They killed our soldiers. Of course, I know they killed 20 soldiers, and that's terrible. Now, if you look at any big military strategists of the past, Machiavelli or Chanakya or anybody, Art of War, they will say that even though they give military strategy, they say war is the last resort. And you also have to make an assessment of the relative size of your enemy. If it's Maldives coming and killing our soldiers, God bless them, then they won't do that. But they're nice, sweet little country. Or if Bhutanese people do it, it's a very different way to deal with it. But if China does it, it's a very different way to deal with it. That's just the reality. I don't want to get into the situation where our army gets compared with theirs, because they have 4 times the defense budget of ours. Their GDP is 5 times. They have far more trade with the world. If you tell the world to take sides, the world doesn't take sides based on who are the nice guys. The world doesn't care. The world will see dhanda kiske saath zyada hai, who do we do more business with, and they all do more business with China. The bigger long-term lesson, I think, here is, do not remain a poor country. Realize that economic growth is important, not just for buying a TV or buying an iPhone, but to get respect in this world. You will not get respect unless you are rich as a nation. I'm sorry to sound like that, and everybody say, what do you mean India is much bigger, better than China? It's not in these terms, and I am very protective. And before we send 500 more soldiers who kill themselves, and then we say, oh my God, they gave up their lives for the country, China is terrible, I want people to know that that's not an easy option, because it's the kids of those soldiers who are going to get orphaned, not you. We are all going to watch the war, and it's not a video game. A war is not a video game. So we have to think of 100 things, and China is a very formidable enemy, and it doesn't have to be an enemy, because for 45 years there were no soldiers killed between India and China. So it's very different. Pakistan, again, much weaker than China, and also constant irritant, whereas China, one incident in 45 years, one in 45 years, terrible incident. But if we all say, let's take out our weapons and start killing them, we'll hurt ourselves, and that doesn't seem like the best way to go forward. So I think, if emotionally, yes, we all feel very angry, they kill their soldiers, but we have to think long term. For a country, we are in the middle of a pandemic, we may be weaker in terms of economy and everything else, our resources to fight them, and we don't need to fight them. What is often missing is, I think, and because I've lived in Hong Kong and that part of the world, Chinese part of the world, people don't understand Chinese culture. Actually, Indian culture and Pakistani culture are quite similar in some ways. We all like to shout and fight and insult, and when we are angry, we yell. And Chinese people don't do that. If you notice, they're all very quiet normally, and they will not fight. You'll never see Chinese debates like going crazy, because that's not their culture. They consider it as losing face. Face meaning honor, like, emotionally poised, not insulting, even. And if the way we do it in India is maro salo wo, ye wo. Maar bhi nahi rahe hain, but we are just saying it. We're just saying, let's go hurt them, this, that. It's not something that gels with the culture. Now you can say, why do you care about the culture? We're just going, they killed us. But that's only going to harm us. But if we understand their culture, and if we understand that, okay, we don't want this border problem, and why can't we live in peace? Peace doesn't mean love. Peace doesn't even mean friendship. Peace just means peace. It's like you don't like your neighbor, but you tell each other, we're not going to throw stones at each other. We may not like each other. We don't have to be friends. We won't wish each other on our birthday, but let's live in peace. That's the kind of peace I think we should aim for first before we start a fight. Now, this is a very long discussion, and if I was in Coimbatore, I'm sure after the talk I would have met your members and I would have learned from them. So please don't think that I'm some China expert. You asked me the question, I shared my views, and it's similar to what I had in the column. And but at the same time, I'm open to learn, and I would have definitely loved to chat with the members and find out their views on this as well.
Okay, so now we have one live question coming in from Rotarian ER Rajaram Chetan. This question is about the recent killings of in UP and also innocent victims in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. So his question to you is, can the police replace judiciary in delivery of justice because of the tardy dispensation of justice that happens?
No, I mean, I think anybody who's reasonably educated and understands how democracies work and why judiciary is there, why a court is there, is that you need a process. And I think even with the Kasab, the guy who did the Mumbai terror attacks, who could be a bigger criminal than him? But he was given a trial, and then he was executed for sure. He was given a trial, and that's what all civilized and mature democracies do. We did it for the Nirbhaya killers, because that's the way justice is protected in society, that each side will get to tell its story. Now, in some cases, it may be pretty obvious that this guy is bad, like the Nirbhaya case or even in Kasab's case. But even then, because the overall concept of justice is more important, even those cases, we can't do instant justice. Even though emotion is telling us, do instant justice. And even the logic is telling you, what is to harm? Kasab has done it. We know it. We have photos of him with the machine gun over there. So we can shortcut the process. The problem is you keep doing that as a regular thing, pretty much, you will not have a good system in place. You will have individuals making calls, and he'll say, I thought this is an instant justice situation. Now, that could mean a lot of abuse, a lot of corruption, a lot of vendetta, a lot of problems that can come, and then there is no way you can do anything about it. So I think we need to check that. So even in the case of UP, it's a case of, I don't know about his criminal past so much, but I think from people in the UP are saying that he was a dreaded criminal. So maybe that's why there's a lot of people who are saying it's okay, this is the only way to deal with such people. But like I said, it's not good for democracy. I was thinking this as a mental exercise. What if we met Dawood? What if Dawood came and surrendered, Dawood Ibrahim, and he arrested him? And what if an encounter was done for him? And nobody in India likes him. And nobody will think that he shouldn't have been killed. But if he gets killed in a fight, that's different. But if he's arrested, then I do think even in that case, he needs to go to trial. That's the way a robust justice system works. That's the way people have faith in the judiciary. What this is telling you is people don't have faith in the judiciary. People are saying, if it had gone to court, it would have been stuck for 20 years. So, done. The problem is what happened in Tuticorin. Because if you allow that if you sympathize with the police saying, what else could they have done? They would have never got justice otherwise. Some rogue cop somewhere will do this to an innocent person. And then what do you do? Because you're saying that it's allowed. And then who decides? Because that cop may say, I felt he's the most evil person on earth. So if my colleague could do it in the other state, Why can't I do it? And then are we going to decide this on TV, on what video clip is better? Are we going to decide based on social media sentiment? Are we going to become, because that's called the banana republic. And I don't think anybody would take India seriously if you behave like that. I mean, we've been changing labor laws in UP to invite business. But when something like this happens, tell me, if you're living abroad in London and you have $500 million to invest, will you have the guts to invest in UP tomorrow? You know, and if you don't invest, what will happen to the kids of UP? Are they going to get jobs? So there are repercussions of this, which are far beyond just, bloodlust, or emotionally you're feeling like, yeah, this is the way, Chakia, it's like a Singham movie going on. But India is going to pay the price for something like this. People will not take us seriously, our court system seriously, investors will stay away, and people won't get jobs. So I think on balance, it's not worth it to do something like this.
Right. Thank you so much for coming here today, Chetan, online.
Thank you. Very nice questions. I didn't know these are very frank, but I think that's what Rotarians are. They're always frank, and they always, they are real people. It's good.
Absolutely. You've touched upon some crucial defiances faced by our society today. And now I request you to launch the directory which has been made for Coimbatore Central this evening. So can you please declare that open?
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, again, like I said, if I was there, I would have done it. But I am very happy and proud, and I'd like to officially launch the Rotary directory for 2020-21. And yeah, everybody's going to get that directory on email, right?
Yeah, on emails and WhatsApp. I think it should have been delivered by now, Chetan.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah. So thank you, Chetan. And now we will go ahead with the vote of thanks.
As we come to the end of this wonderful function, I request our Secretary, Rotarian Jagan Mohan, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, Rotarians, respected ladies and gentlemen. I deem it a great honor and a privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion to the installation of new office bearers for the 41st year of our prestigious club, Rotary Coimbatore Central 2021. I congratulate the outgoing office bearers for the Rotary year 2019-20 for their exemplary performance and execution of projects. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making this occasion a resounding success. Iyatralum, Eatalum, Kathalum, Katha Vaguthalum, Vallattarasu. A saying from Tirukkural defines, leadership is a mindset one does not acquire just because he or she is in a position that bestows him certain responsibilities to discharge. Talking of the characteristics of leadership, John C. Maxwell, a leading international expert on this subject, says, job titles do not have much value when it comes to leading. True leadership cannot be awarded, appointed, or assigned. It comes only from the influence, and that cannot be mandated. On behalf of Rotary Coimbatore Central, I thank the guest of honor, author Chetan Bhagat, who gave us an inspirational speech. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to District Director Rotarian R.S. Maruthi for constantly supporting us and directing us to take our club to greater heights. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Assistant Governor Rotarian V.S. Suthagar and GGR Rotarian K.K. Chuk for guiding us in all our endeavors. I extend my gratitude to immediate past President Rotarian P.S. Sitaram, all our past presidents, our senior Rotarians, office bearers, my beloved fellow Rotarians, aunts, aunts, road tractors, sister club presidents and secretaries, all G39 club leaders, distinguished guests and invitees for attending the installation ceremony. I also thank Rotarian Bharat Shah, Rotarian Siddharth Shankar, and Annette Netri Koteja. I extend my special thanks to Rotarian Vishwanathan Gupta for providing the venue and Mr. Venkatesh for the visuals. Without all of you, this event would not have been a success. I thank our incoming President, Rotarian Ashish Khemka, for having faith in me and delegating me as a secretary for the current Rotary year. I will deliver my duties to the best of my capability by following the four-way test and abiding by the principles of Rotary. Thanks to one and all present here. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Installation meeting of 41st President of Coimbatore Rotary Central is adjourned.